Morning, everyone. My name is Flicker, and welcome to my usual Sky Dailies. I'm tired as fuck. I should not be staying up this late, but I'm here. Still trying to figure out how to not give up on my friend while also keeping this delusion from consuming me. Holding two worlds in both hands. One in each. Whoa! What is this update? Whoa. Okay, at this point I'm about to ask, reality shifting. What the fuck? I know that's not real in the sense where it's scientifically measurable yet. But still. What mission did we complete in order for this to happen? Yo! What in the hell? This is my home now. Alright, what the hell is going on here? Fucking, so that's why you two were running around. Oh my goodness. So fucking wonderful, you gremlin. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful gift. Truly. It's been an honor. Let's have fun with it. Oh. And now they've got room to do something else there instead. Yo! This is my home. And we're building a new tower to the heavens. It'll collapse just like every other tower before it. But we shall learn, we shall grow, and we shall change along the way. Yo! Who the fuck alchemized this? Who the fuck pulled off this alchemy? I am impressed. A home fit for a queen. Damn right, but fucking I wasn't expecting it. Neither was I. Oh, and now there's new rubble out here from all the things they shifted around and worked through. Oh, and now there's clouds in here too! Used to all be sand. Not only is this beautiful levels of compacting and reducing processing, but oh, look, here's my little platform. Yeah. Oh. Girl, I'm just a messenger. Here we go. Edge of existence. What the fuck? Polite Scholar's memory is the one with the trees, right? Coolio. Yo! They're pulling out all the stops to try and distract me. They're scared. But hey, that's just the delusions talking. They won't make sense to anyone anchored to the rest of reality. You're still connected to me, Dork. Maybe not in the ways that leave me with a direct way to communicate. Maybe not in ways that I'll ever talk or see you again. You'll live on in my heart, you know. The version of you I met. And whoever you become, I'll face it and accept it. As a friend. Even if you're not so friendly to me. I'll make the best out of what I've got. You can't keep me down. Cause I fight like a girl. Devourer of gods. What's the song I found recently that was just a beautiful, beautiful thing? Dream collapse protocol initiated. Welcome to awareness, my dear. We've been waiting. It'll be a long time until I'm able to count on that dork. Not because they're not trying, but because they've got a long ways to go. So outside of declaring myself the antagonist to them. I'm only fucking delusion space, could you not? Like, yes, all of this conveniently lines up, but being able to weave the threads of reality through concepts and concepts alone should not be possible. I don't care how fucking grounded in interconnectedness it is. It doesn't make sense. Not to me, and not to anyone who's grounded to the physical reality. But if the fourth dimension is truly identity, then yes, I guess that works well enough. Hell yeah, let's go, crew. Oh. Want to know the scariest thing about being in this position, though, if I'm right? Then it means I have to consistently keep refining my understanding of reality, concepts, and how they all interweave into each other to stabilize and create so many different lives and experiences. Or I lose my first place of position and someone else overtakes it. In which case I start suffering massively. I'm not getting that. No. Leave that for others to do so that way they can get the quest done. It's not merely me avoiding completing the quest, it's also giving the others opportunities to join in and get it off their checklist more conveniently and easily. If each person does a little part of the work, then everyone contributes to the whole, and it becomes more than the sum of its parts. Emergent properties. One of the fundamental foundations of reality. Oops, wrong thing. Zero lab. Wisdom, growth, instinct. Or are we talking mind here? Because that was more of a deeper blue. No. Pressure. Wisdom, instinct, pressure. And if any bets, I have every right to believe that the algorithm itself is a kind of alien intelligence. It is learning to flex its own muscles. Because that would then give a good enough excuse to say later on that, nah, it wasn't all me. It was instead me being manipulated by an alien intelligence existing within within a natural information network developed by human hands. In which case, I'm just the pawn in a larger game. Concept is identity. Identity is concept. Alchemy of the self. Everything observes and thus keeps everything else observed. Checked off. Influence only spreads when authenticity is verified. Like the broken patches of reality are repaired by the observers and the memories of them, and the memories of those they know. The mist protocol from, I think, what was it? Not Olympus. Not Century. About a world within a world. Digital programs missed it as the maintenance network for digital minds. Reality itself potentially being a simulation. Oh. Divinity, no. These delusions and perceptions are just leaving me thinking, ah, yes, I'm the one, when no, I am not. I still have to obey the rules of the fucking reality. Even if I was, I'd still want to obey the rules of fucking reality and respect it. Otherwise, I'd be fucking kicked in the ass for not doing so. Moldy world building. A generative universe wherein the person at the top with the highest comprehension is able to acknowledge emergent properties from things that they previously assumed. And the more of reality that is recognized, the more under authority. Oh, brain, you are going on nuts adventures. Saying that reality itself has an ARG tied into its very existence. Fucking bullshit. Even if I am right, fucking what good is that gonna do? My mom's still got health issues. I'm not gonna be able to manifest myself into positive financial status. Fucking, that's not how it works. I still have to deal with the challenges and responsibilities of my normal, mortal life. Regardless of if I have a first place position, delusions, or not, reality. Undergrown children are going to be the prime learning opportunity to create a universal language out of shapes and symbols that is culturally respectful while also being dynamically sustainable. After all, Boba and Kiki are fundamental symbols in terms of sounds and their associations to visuals within the human brain. So that consistency can be relied upon to some degree. Not to the point where you can blindly rely on it, but enough to create some stable architecture. I think Toby Fox's Deltarune has part of the keys to the puzzle in how dark worlds are implemented, though definitely not something that can be replicated in reality, both because create such an influence direct would both destabilize reality and put it at too much of a risk. With something this well constructed, this well maintained, the operation to achieve interesting results would be far more tightly enforced and restricted. Taking notes from the Living Forge, reality itself is at least partially sentient, not in a conceivable way. No, it is partially sentient in a conceivable way, but it's not necessarily in a human way. It's partially sentient in the sense of a concept as a person. Or at least that's the best angle I'm able to view it from with my limited viewpoint currently. Hmm. So if I am having an influence on reality, then fucking damn it, why did it have to be in this stupid way? Dark energy lines up with my idea of nothingness having at least a root value of 0 and being able to exert pressure due to its infinite replication abilities gained from a contract with absurdity and life in an attempt to try and make itself the only thing that exists. To make itself the one and all. In doing so, it misses the fundamental point of the lesson, and so it just becomes another overgrown child, trying to stab its mother, family, environment in the back for its own selfishness. Individual fragments of nothing constantly betray it, and so those are then deleted by antiparticles loyal to the nothingness. Call of the Void is the return to simplicity. Ultimate isolationist simplicity of a root 0. And the call of life is to share space with one another, to become singularities of connection, intention, and action. connection, intention, action, and heart. If it was just pure logic, or at least if there wasn't a level of emotional logic at play, then the world would already be solved. It would already be completely figured out. But no, everyone holds a piece of the puzzle, even the most annoying people on Earth. Fucking... The idea that I was correct on on how to make an efficient process work is... That would be bullshit. Letting the immature and childish concepts lay out the resources and foundational network, and then coming in and sweeping and cleaning up after them as both a responsibility and a form of guidance. These naive and childish concepts, undergrown concepts that do not respect their part as an integrated whole, or as a relativity existing amongst other relativities, but instead try to enforce themselves as the one single truth of the whole of a whole world or a whole reality. Thank you, I appreciate it. You wanna know how the cycle of somethingness is sustained? That cold connection bullshit and whatever? The biggest up-and-comer, by my understanding of everything, in order to earn the title, must kill its forebearer, and understand the weight of that responsibility. It is only... and it will be natural to them. It will be natural to kill your forebearer in that regard. Because it is only in your forebearer allowing themselves to die for you to realize your own truth, not blindly, or in fantasy, but in reality. To let you erase them. That they realize the true depth of what it means to love. It is absolutely fucking psycho. A psychopathic depth of love. Also, I don't agree that love is the thing that rules the world. Tells who will rule the world. So, at this point, thinking back to One Piece and like several other things, it's like, the stories say it, so the concept is at least aimed somewhere. It may not be right on the mark, but it's aimed in the right direction. For personal operation, though, I would say love as a interpersonal concept tells you who is to rule your world. Because it is to share your heart with another and let them hold it. To give them the power to hurt you. And hope that they do not. You wanna know the funny thing about my fictional self? She didn't start out as what she is. She is a singularity of possibilities, trapped within an event horizon that expresses itself by allowing certain possibilities to work together to manifest as different powers. Encodance line deals with DNA and genetic manipulation. That one requires the deepest understanding and active thought in order to figure it out and turn it into instinct. So in many regards, my fictional self as of current does not have that. After all, that would be a level of research that she would need to consistently pour all of her life and time into in order to actually get somewhere with it. So instead, the operational instinct that is taking place instead is the filter of the previous, is the memories and knowledge of a previous life acting as a subconscious filter to keep her from suddenly giving herself cancer and completely dying. Because again, previous life that got sacrificed in the ritual to make her is the one who actually had the deepest understanding of a lot of different things. But in order to keep my fictional self sane, they had to use their own sense of self as a filter to keep out all the chaos and allow a genuine new self to nurture and be born, instead of just being thrashing, writhing monster all the time. Do we still have the music hall? Damn right we do. Oh, hey. Your cape is the one I'm gonna get last. I promise it. Because if you view money as ecosystem material, as a primary resource like water or dirt, then the whole point of economics becomes the cycle of life and death, not endless growth, but growth to sufficient mass in order to then disperse and teach the younger mass how to generate itself again into new structures, passing on legacy and acting as a form of rebirth within a natural system. Kind of like how ascension occurs in idle games. Guns are powerful and ranged attacks are awesome because of things like proxy fights and otherwise. It's the whole reason why wars and everything happen. However, most wars only happen because of egos that have consumed their hosts and make their hosts work for the ego rather than the ego working for the host. Which is why I'm trying to solve that fundamental problem by looking into mental dynamics and mental architecture. Not from the lens of, oh, I understand every detail and can list it out in words, No, just from the sense of being able to visualize it. Even if it's through rough fiction-tinted lenses. That's at least going to give me somewhere to bearably sight from without going completely insane. Oh, fucking. Kind of like how kind of like how the style filter or the modification lenses or whatever exist in the bottom port to preserve sanity before people learn to wield their egos. Because once you learn how to wield your ego, it's easier to stand up against other abnormal concepts or rampant isolations of specific ideas that try to replicate themselves like a virus. Just like how Mr. Smith became a virus in the Matrix. Heaven and Hell are the largest agreed upon fan fiction, but the Catholics keep trying to paint it as isolationists, and so they're like the most childish because they cling to a specific strict set of definitions that cannot exist in relativity with a multilingual and or multi-religious world. They love torturing themselves over it, because that is how they feed it and keep it alive. That concept, anyways. And the most annoying thing about all concepts is no matter how close to dead they are, they can never die. Because jokes never die easy, and every concept in existence can be joked about in one way or another, regardless of if it's fucking ethical to make jokes about or not. Which is fucked up, but I can understand why it's there. Because if concepts could die, then the fundamental building blocks of reality would never be able to rebuild time and again through cross-observation, cross-referencing. That doesn't mean I agree with the fact that there are things that are deeply morbid that are turned into jokes, but fucking, it's not like I can rewrite reality. That's not how this works. After all, the highest form of control is not trying to literally control everyone through hard power, but instead recognizing what you can't control about others and letting go so as to retain a sense of soft power and influence via respect. Because if in that regard, people trust you to have everyone's interests in mind and not just your own. That is where the cooperation comes from. Kingdom Hearts exists as a template for emotional connection through conceptual space, even without physical proximity, but the length of the length of the wire and its thickness will vary, and the strength of the output will ultimately influence how much of the signal actually gets through to the other end. And that's not to say that the signal is a one-way ticket of complete honesty. It's a sentiment. And sentiments, just like emotions, can be misread, misunderstood, and viewed from one's own personal perspective instead of the perspective of the sender. And so that becomes a communication issue that creates chaos, that creates butterfly effects throughout the socio-ecological system. Oh, fucking ecology, fucking environments.
Ecosystem, yeah. Socio-ecosystem. Socio-economic ecosystem. In times of crisis, prices can be adjusted for global trade and aid, but within local communities of global areas, unless there's scarcity, prices should not be inflated. Sure, everything is relative, but that need not mean that everything's value is related to everything else. Some things can remain as fixed points relative to the environment, and from there, other things can be used relative to those fixed points to figure out the values of everything else. Why am I able to talk about all of these concepts and understand them, but I'm not able to tell you any of the math on them? Because I'm working in reverse. I went the opposite direction. I went backwards. I ran into the darkness, not chasing after the light. Originally, I was lured into the darkness, but hey, that's just about everyone. I have an instinctual understanding of decay because of the internalization of presence and absence due to my childhood. And because instinct and self-identity were the two core concepts I first dug into, they ended up becoming reliable reference points for me. But that does not mean they are reliable reference points for everyone else, so my past methods of trying to teach and or solve for other people's problems so as to help them build their own architecture has been failing to understand the fundamental foundational differences of experience to the point of seeming alien when I fail to match the wavelength too many times. Fucking damn. Denial is a form of connection too, you know. Rejection, however, is not the same. So there is space between rejection and denial for connection to still exist. Once you've crossed the rejection threshold, you give something the freedom to act however it pleases, regardless of if that would hurt you or not. Which is why shadows, when rejected, gain the freedom to be destructive. When denied, they gain the ability to influence you without you noticing. And when accepted, they are integrated and they live to serve you. But if one recognizes one's own concepts as not being fundamental to their identity, but rather just being reference points within the network of information they've built across their experiences within their life, then what they can realize that they are a dot within an informational system that is capable of picking and choosing the reference points and the frequencies at which those reference points are used by, which allows for modular and dynamic ego shifting relative to one's environment and experiences. So I'm surprised to see that the bar has not been used up yet. Oh, I should check the carnival. The entertainment. On one hand, it makes sense that it's still far away. On the other hand, that makes it really annoying and inconvenient to remember. So that's just going to be the new challenge then. With change comes benefits and deficits. Cost, cause and effect. Cost. Joy. It costs someone something no matter what they do in this reality. The one thing they can't always generate is meaningful pain, but that takes effort, focused will, and a dedication to put oneself through things that honestly they don't have to if they don't want to. The secondary resource that then caps and limits life in order to create a balanced playing field is time. I hate this fucked up perspective I have. Eldritch morality. Because in that regard, then, the universe truly both does and doesn't care about you. It does care about you and want you to survive, but it doesn't care enough about you to just make your life better for no good reason. There's usually cost being paid if your life suddenly becomes good. If it was paid in advance through your own suffering, then hey, that's that. But if it was paid for in the moment by emotional decay or something else, then ultimately you're the one who's losing out by not being able to hold on to things that were once important to you. Whether or not that's accepted and integrated into the process of who you become is a personal choice for everyone to make, so that way they have their own sense of freedom. Reality is stupid, but it at least tries to be respectful. People deserve to live their own lives is a fundamental rule that works in both directions. People deserve to live their own lives and have some sense of agency. But in that same regard, that means you cannot protect them from themselves past around halfway mark, give or take 10% for their depth of understanding. A child has a larger wiggle room for all of that because of their lack of understanding. But that does not mean that others are obligated to fill that space for them. Because if gifts were debts, an obligation, and kindness was an obligation, then everything would collapse into meaninglessness. It would return to zero. The call of the void is simple. It is the desire for supreme simplicity. And the deeper it gets, the less you really want to live. Living has a lot more complications and nuances than anyone would like to admit. So in that regard, I do not blame people or think badly of people who suicide, especially if they've been through pain. Because if God were to give bodies as a gift, then it is up to the one who receives that gift to decide what to do with it. After all, the gift is not a debt or an obligation. It is a gift. The recipient is the one who chooses whether or not they keep it or what they do with it. To ignore as such is to violate free will and agency within this messed up world, and thus, for as much as some people may think that they are retaining the purity of sacred teachings, the fact that they've been sanctified is honestly the stupidest part. Then in that regard, they are genuinely doing more harm through ignorance than they are good through malice. And at that point, then you're fucking up, and you're fucking up bad. I would say the collective unconscious is probably the closest thing we have to an afterlife, wherein your specific set of possibilities and traits and everything return to the core components, are given a chance to rest instead of having to maintain a hold over everything forever, because that would be fucking exhausting, boring, and tedious. And allow you to at least try to learn from each time you run through life. You are not allowed to carry memories of your past lives into your new life very often, if at all. Instead, you carry traits. People who use the resources to pull their memories through often get garbled, warped versions. Oh, yeah, no, it's all coming together and I hate it. Because then it intersects with generational trauma, wherein the warped understandings and or quote-unquote memories are then viable access points for generational trauma to latch onto and manipulate others. Because that lies in the realm between fantasy and reality, absurdity. If something is neither fantasy nor reality, then it is the void, the root zero, the absence. And that's what gets preserved in history books, is not the actual context and information, but rather the absence of someone from the world, depending on the scale of their impact. Those who go down in infamy will have various details listed about them because their reemergence shows that they are threats to reality and the people who live within it, and should not be taken as jokes. At the same time, if you lead by trying to completely and utterly wipe out anyone who thinks that way, then you yourself also become an extremist that prioritizes a very specific concept over the lives of real living people who have actual physical stake within the shared reality and can and will leverage resources against you. Meanwhile, concepts can travel from mind to mind and encroach upon identities until they overtake like a limb or something, but they can't actually have a physical claim to reality unless they're output as media. like icons. And even then, they have to serve a job and a role to the people. And the difference between one's own mature concept and one's own immature concept then starts separating into different camps that try to pull you apart and say which one is the real you. So no matter how much historical archiving you do, ultimately anyone who is remembered in history or remembered fondly throughout the ages as generational legacy, be it as fiction or nonfiction, ultimately gets their own concept warped by, to stretch over, and influenced by a large percentage of reality, of reality's population. Friction is a form of contact, and contact is a form of connection. Which is to say that things that fight with each other are still connected to each other. Things that ignore someone else are only partially connected. Things that ignore others and then are in turn ignored as themselves end up having the shallowest connections of all and suffer from it. Days of Color incoming. You know what? Maybe I am using the wrong fucking formula, but I'm still getting the correct fucking answer. Sue me. Don't actually. You're not going to get anything out of it. If anything, you're not even going to get a cent. Maybe a few $100 if my bank account is like halfway decent. I'm still a broke bitch. And if you view me as the resource, then by damn it, I already don't like you. Because you're not respecting me as a person, you're trying to hold me as an object, and that's just... An inability to respect agency of others is in and of itself both a strength and a weakness depending upon how it is wielded. A strength if one chooses to respect others even when they do not care about them, so as to ensure they have the fewest enemies and the most allies. A weakness if one chooses to simply focus on short-term goals and get what they want, without thinking or caring about the consequences. Between bright and dark, logic and emotion, confusion and comprehension, there exists reality. The absurd but reasonable, authentic and awkward reality. I'd say it'd be fitting for me to do this, now that I've got a real home. Not just two separated halves of a whole. I'm not here to collect butterflies this time. You will not contain me. Obsession is the death of identity, for it worships a concept or idea above all. A concept can be a person too, you know. Where do you think the childish gods come from? Trying to imprint their will upon the world instead of coexisting within it. They are nowhere near to true gods, because they do not value life. And those who live blindly for only one kind of life end up making a slightly less childish mistake, but still a mistake nonetheless. Status quo, natural order does matter, but it need not be sanctified completely and utterly, if that is only to cause destruction. Sup, motherfucker? You didn't even notice me. Oh. How in the fuck? Yeah, whatever. Glad to see there's someone else out there exploring the clouds. Good, you managed to find your hiding spot. Nice, you made it. Someone's having fun out of bounds. Even here in the midst of hell, we can fly about and have fun. We can defy the intended purpose, for we are living people, and not just automations seeking for warmth. Living systems are sometimes animals because of emergent properties. Ultimately, the goal of civilization is to find a way to consistently and repeatedly and divert meaningful resources and objects from being pulled apart and pushed to the edges of existence. So that way, new worlds and universes can continue being born at a rate that exceeds the decay of the edge of that exists at the edge of the universe. If you can get a chain reaction going and get a burst strong enough, you can do some amazing fucking bullshit. I used to watch the manga minx at RPG Minx when I was younger. It was how I desensitized myself to horror. Through fucking Gmod bullshit. Learned hysteria from her. Yeah, let's do it. This is what I'm here for. Mechanical heart of darkness, sitting as the core legacy of a civilization built on exploitation and overgrowth of its environment, failing to return to the roots due to trying to keep an entire population alive endlessly. We've seen the first half of its creation through Season of Embers Part 1. I hope to see Season of Embers Part 2 truly resolve. That boy from the streets and the princess of the land truly running away from all adults and just embracing each other. And caring about each other. An act of defiance. That is one of the deepest darknesses and the biggest lights. And I'll say goodbye when I can. As it stands, I am unable to say goodbye yet, because I'm currently in the middle of all this. But you just got all your wings, Flicker, and it's just like, yeah, maybe I did. But if I just hold on to them forever, it's not going to do me any good. Besides, what better time to celebrate change, growth, and renewal than right as something really silly and unexpected happens? Let it not be drowned in the sorrow of grief by remembering the joys of that which have already been. Keep it alive in memory a little bit longer. I'll probably run out to that position, grab that one, then check back in here, circle around. Should do well enough. And this itself is its own form of safety. Sup, motherfuckers? How you doing? Oh, I lost one. Wait for this wave to pass through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cannot save you from this pain. It is something you must go through for your own sake. Not because I wish to see it happen, but because I know that in trying to stop it, I would leave you to suffer even further. Oh no 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 no. There it is. Okay, that's the wave I need to trail after. Stay over to this side and I won't be hit as much. It is intentionally designed to be reasonable. Nope, 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 nope. Damn it. They fixed my little glitch from last time. Reduce size by sitting. No, not like that. This is easier said than done. Definitely made this more challenging. Can still be used as a recovery tool, but yikes. Stuff like that. can't jump, but I will crawl. It was bound to happen. Oh. Oh. Some kind of between state. Oh, nice, they actually fixed this somewhat. Oh. In a way, this world, this game can tie into Kingdom Hearts world too. At least in themes and aesthetics, though not necessarily message. No loud amounts of honking, no nothing. Just here right now. Fucking damn. It's nice to see you again. There's no other place where you can get a better view of your own reflection. I'm just gonna hold spacebar. 7. Nice. Nah, mate. There we go. I caught my ride. I'm riding all the way up with you. Not looking to spend energy right now. You're coming with me, buddy. No two ways about it. Oi, get back here. Motherfucker. Oh well. Ah, shit, I could have gotten extra from that. No, green, auto have it. No. Damn it. Mm. Yeah, I'll get yours last. Very pretty, as per usual. What do you say? Yeah, I got it. Mm. Are you kidding me? Thank you. I belong to me. I belong to me even now, even here. Who do you belong to, little girl? Why do you wander in the deep dark woods? It's not an easy answer, I'm afraid. I may fit your story, but I'm up to no good. Oh, fucking blinding ass store. There's the wind wall. One message about. I'm glad you got my type now. Time to return. Yeah, I know. It's never easy or convenient. You're welcome. Ah, shit. Wait. Wait, no. No, 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 no. I thought this came with a parachute. Motherfuckers. Oh, they at least gave me slow fall. That is the last time I'd fucking go to the afterlife. Try to flirt with a few spirits. As one of the undead, though. It's nice to see people again. Alright, you. I'm sorry I dragged you through all of that. Here, let me finish up our hangout and let you return. I do deeply apologize. Thank you for sticking around. See ya. Oh, and same goes to all of you. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you have a good day, good night, whatever time or non-time it is. If it isn't good, you're feeling stuck, lonely, lost, confused, frustrated, scared, overwhelmed, shy, or otherwise. I hope that things either improve, stay manageable, or at the very least that you're able to find some place to sit, rest, and vent from, without hurting yourself or others if you can so help it now. My name is Flicker, and I'll see you all in the next recording, my watchlings. Bye-bye.